Good morning, Knicks Nation. Today is Wednesday, the 25th day of January 2023. I hope you're safe and healthy today, and I hope that your family is safe and healthy, and that the needs of you and your family in terms of food, shelter, clothing, as well as health are being met today. Blessings upon those that work in the healthcare field, along with the first responders who every day are trying to save human lives. And blessings upon those that pick up garbage for us to keep streets and sidewalks and parks clean, and those that make deliveries for our convenience. Blessings also upon those men and women that are trying to help rescue, deliver, and recover the children and teenagers that are the victims of child molestation and pedophilia, the victims also of pornography and child pornography, the victims of prostitution and child prostitution, human trafficking and sex slavery. Double curses upon those perpetrators. Double curses also upon those profiteers and those perverts that create this heinous and disgusting industry. Finally, blessings upon the homeless. There are nearly 600,000 men, women, and children living on the streets of the United States of America, mostly children and increasingly senior citizens, and millions around the world in similar or worse conditions. Blessings upon them, for theirs is the kingdom. Last night there was a basketball game. The New York Knicks defeated the Cleveland Cavaliers 105-103, a very exciting game. Overall, I expected some adjustments to be made. The adjustments that were made weren't exactly what I expected, but there were some subtle adjustments that actually helped the Knicks win the game. In the beginning of the game, it started like the last few games have started. It was an offensive extravaganza to start the game. The Knicks were playing very little defense, and neither were the Cavs. But the Cavaliers are a top 5 team in the East for a reason. They play high level defense. What they have done when they brought in Donovan Mitchell, not only is Donovan Mitchell brought in to play defense, he has brought into to the defensive side of the basketball, but as a unit, with Mobley, with Jared Allen, with Wade, they really are a really tight defense. And then when they bring in Okoro, they're a very high level defensive unit. And so they tightened up. And the Knicks also tightened up. But what the subtle changes overall that I saw that was very important was Tom Thibodeau kept calling timeouts every time a run started. Every time, it used to be a unwritten rule in the NBA and in the ABA back in the early 70s that when Dr. J hit 2 in a row, call timeout. That was an unwritten rule because Doc would go off. And so it happened last night. Thibs treated Mitchell like that. When Mitchell would hit 1 or 2 in a row, Thibs would call timeout. Whenever they were going a small run, Thibs would call timeout. It was like he was using his timeout to stop the runs. That was subtle, but it was very important because they would come out of the huddle. The Knicks usually run an excellent play coming out of huddles. Tom Thibodeau is really good at running plays coming out of huddles. They usually score coming out of huddles. So he would call timeout, regroup, and then run a play and score. It was subtle, but it was important to stop the runs. The second thing he did was one of the things we talked about yesterday was he started the fourth quarter with the second unit. I still thought it would have been better if he'd have played them more than he did. He played them about 9 minutes before he started subbing them out. Not 9 minutes. He played them about 3 minutes before he started subbing them out. But that unit stopped what would normally be an opponent's run in the fourth quarter. And so that was important as well. So those two little subtle changes helped the Knicks. I'd like to see him play the second unit more. We'll talk about that in a second. But Obi Toppin, because Obi Toppin is really, coming into his own again. He's getting back in the flow. He would take time being off for a month. He was going to take time getting back in the flow. And Thibs did allude to that, but he finally is. He's getting back in the flow. He's getting his rhythm. His jump shot, which I always believed was going to be there, is there. And he's really enjoying playing basketball. Last night he did a lot, but the star of the game was Julius Randle. Julius Randle showed us all of the things last night, Julius Randle showed us as Knicks fans all the things we love and hate about Julius Randle. He showed us the whole Quan last night. For example, he throws bad passes. Like he threw a bad pass. He had 5 turnovers. He threw a bad pass to Grimes, and he's staring at Grimes like Grimes should have caught that crap, right? Like it was Grimes' fault. Julius threw a horrible pass. Or he commits a foul, or he is nowhere near where he's supposed to be on defense, and he's looking at the other guys like, where you guys at when he gets beat? But on the other side, he hits 8 3-pointers. He hits 8 3-pointers. And he plays 38 minutes, and he collected 13 boards, but some 13 boards are different from other 13 boards. What do I mean by that? At the end of the game, in the fourth quarter, he was doing, there's a couple of things I call grown man moves. Like there's a grown man's dunk and there's a grown man's rebound. That is, I'm just going to manhandle everybody around me like they children and take this ball and bring it back up. He did that a couple of key moments, especially in the fourth quarter, that helped the Knicks to keep a run going, helped the Knicks stay in the lead. That was very important. At one point in the fourth, the Knicks were up 10. And then, of course, the Cavs made a run, especially Donovan Mitchell. The thing about Donovan Mitchell that I have noticed throughout his career is he's really a second half dynamo. I mean, he can go off in the first half too, but he's going to go off. And usually if he's quiet in the first half, I can guarantee you he's going to go off in the second half. He's a second half dynamo. And so he started his shenanigans, and he ended up with 24, which is 4 below his average. But he started his shenanigans in the fourth quarter. And I felt like, every time Grimes or Deuce wasn't on the floor, the threat of Donovan Mitchell going off was greater. And so, and they did a tremendous job on him. Both of those guys, when they came in the game, did tremendous. I mean, Mitchell shot 9 for 24 last night. I mean, he still had 8 boards, 8 assists, 4 steals. He's really a dynamic player. But they did a tremendous job on him. The bench was really good last night. But Randle was the star of the game. Grown man rebounds down the stretch. 8 3-pointers, 11 for 21 from the field, 4 offensive boards, 4 assists. I mean, you got everything from Randle last night. This is the greatness and what's the word I'm looking for? This is the greatness and enigma that is Julius Randle. All NBA style play, all star play, and then knucklehead play, all in the same game. But he was the star of the game, there's no doubt. Sims played 25 minutes last night, and while I'm a little concerned about that, I gotta say Hartenstein played the best game as a Knick. He played his best game as a Knick last night. He really did. That's why he got 23 minutes. Sims started the game, which should continue, and he got 25 minutes. Brunson, okay, I have to admit, as you all who watch my channel know, I really believe in defense. I really believe that defense wins championships. I've seen it too much in the NBA and in my life watching basketball, coaching basketball, so ever. I can't stand somebody that can't play defense on a defensive team. That's Brunson. See, I also realized why they couldn't trap. Whenever Brunson's in the game, you can't really trap. He's not going to get back to his man quick enough. Okay? Even when you set your defense, he's not going to get to his man quick enough. He just sucks on defense. Period. End of story. Randle sucks sometimes when he doesn't feel like paying attention or his IQ is not paying attention. But he has the ability to play lockdown defense, the physical ability. Brunson doesn't have the ability. He just doesn't. Okay? And so that was bothering me last night. And I was glad the most important move that Thibodeau made in this game yesterday, 15 seconds left, he takes Brunson out and he puts IQ in. Okay, that was the most important move of the game because it would have been a very high chance that Donovan Mitchell would have scored, if Brunson was in the game. Or somebody would have been left open. But he took out Brunson with 15 seconds left in the game, and we needed to stop, and he puts Quick in there with Grimes, RJ, Randle, and he kept Hartenstein in, which is also usually something to concern, something for consternation. But last night, Hartenstein was playing, he was playing good ball. That's why Thibs kept him in there. And he did a good job. He made the key stop down the stretch as Mitchell came at the basket, as we knew he would. And he made the key block right there. And then of course, Grimes was guarding Mobley on the last shot, defended it as well as you can, and it was off. And so that was really, really tremendous. And I saw last night, more than ever, how much the Knicks really depend on the defense of Grimes and the starting unit, and then deucing quickly off the bench. Because if it wasn't for Grimes, if you didn't have Grimes, if Mitchell was next to Brunson, we'd be getting burned all the time. Because while Mitchell is better defender than Brunson, neither of them are high-level defenders. Grimes is. And all of that defense on somebody like Mitchell, like he was guarding most of the night, that's why he's not shooting the ball as well as he might. He's going to eventually be both. That's the thing about Grimes, man. Eventually, he's going to lock down people and shoot the lights out. Eventually, he's going to do it. Remember, he's only in his second year. He's 22 years old. So he's going to get better. And his playmaking, when I'm watching Julius Randle look at him like he was supposed to catch this errant pass, he just stayed cool, didn't even look at Julius, didn't talk to him, followed up with a stop and then an assist. This kid, I'm very high on Grimes. I thought he was going to be good coming out of Houston. This kid is got all the goods. I want him on as a Knick for as long as we can keep him as a Knick. And so, there's a lot of people that come with trades, and they're always talking about either trade Grimes or put him on the bench. Stop that NBA 2K crap. This is how you develop long-term sustainable winning. You develop young players that you draft in your system, and you keep them in your organization. Okay? That is Quentin Grimes. RJ Barrett, 16 points. He had 4 rebounds. But the key thing, he was, to me, he was off last night. And then he 3 or 4 from the line. I don't know. He just looked out of sync. But at the end, he knocked the ball off of, I think it was off of Mitchell. I think it was off of Donovan Mitchell. But it was a fast break. Somebody was going to the hole. He recovered. He knocked the ball. That was a key play. Big play. That was the fourth quarter play. Another big-time fourth quarter play. Brunson, 5 of 13, 1 of 3 from 3, 4 assists. He seemed to struggle all night long. And part of the reason is teams are now keying on him. They know what he's going to do. This is the league. So you could, attack in your first week, 2 weeks, a month of the season, and people, so you're going off. Okay. And they'll adjust. And that's what they're doing. They're doing that to Brunson. But it really, if the Knicks play it right, it's opening up opportunities for other players. Okay. And that's why Julius is getting a lot of open looks. He's getting a lot of open looks from 3. Because they're really now keying on Brunson. Because Brunson is going to take most of the shots. And we knew he was going to be the number 1 option. But he's going to take most of the shots. He's going to have the ball in his hand most of the time. And a lot of times he'll dribble out the 24-second clock. Okay, he will. And so he'll hit big shots, but he'll cost you as well. Okay? And that's driving me crazy. Last night I was texting my boys and I was like, I wish we just kept Quickly as a point guard and don't even sign Brunson. I was so frustrated with him. Because Quickly, I have to be honest, I think the Knicks would be at least where they are now or better if you put Quickly as a starting point guard and left it like that. I think we'd be at least where we are now, if not better. Because I believe Quickly is better than Brunson. Okay? But I'm going to listen to my own advice. I'm going to be patient because they're all still developing as a unit. Okay? And they are. They're all still. It's frustrating to watch sometimes, but I keep reminding myself, based on my own experience and watching other long-term sustainable winning teams, you got to be patient. You got to go through it. You got to let them mess up. You got to let them do stupid things. And you got to, it's almost like raising a child. Really, it is. You got to let them go through things. You got to, you correct them when you can, but they got to have their experience. And the Knicks are in that mode right now. They are coming together, cohesive unit. They are developing together as a unit and as individuals. Remember, RJ is only 22, Grimes only 22. They still developing, okay? So it's just, I got to remind myself of that sometimes. But the bench, Toppin comes off again, 4 of 6 from the field, 2 of 3 from the 3-point line, 1 of 2 from the line, 3 rebounds. He only played 10 minutes. Now, the thing is, he did a variety of things last night. Good defense, running the floor, hitting the three, attacking the basket. All of that was Toppin last night. And that was tremendous. Tremendous, okay? McBride also. You could just, I'm noticing with Deuce, he's not hitting his shot yet. But again, he's not getting consistent minutes either. But he's getting more confident. Like, I can see the confidence coming. He's getting more confident. In the beginning, it looks like he was almost a little afraid. But now, the other game, he waved off quickly. Okay? And then made an alley-oop play with Jericho. And then last night, he just comes down with a lot more confidence. He pushes the ball every play. The thing about McBride is she's going to pick up his man 94 feet. And then even on a made basket, he's going to push it. And that's good. That puts pressure on the defense. And so I think that's going to even get more effective. Again, as the season goes on, as he remains in the rotation, it's going to get better. Of course, quickly, we missed him. When I found out Sunday that he was out, that was hard because quickly is extremely important to what the Knicks do, either on the bench or as a starter. So right now there's no place for him to start because Brunson's the starting point guard, and I'm not sitting Grimes. I'd rather have Quick and Grimes play together. But when Quickly plays, man, the Knicks just do it. Last night he's plus 14 again. He's always plus with the units he plays in. Okay, because you know what that means. Some people say, well, it can be an overrated or stat, the plus minus. But I'd say at least 75% of the time it's relevant. It's telling you something. It's about 75% of the time. It's telling you something. And I'm being conservative on that number even, but it's telling you something about what's going on. And what's going on is when Quickly is on the floor, he has a positive effect on the unit when he's playing. Okay? His game is improved like maybe a year ago, year and a half ago, maybe a year ago. I was like, he'd be a great sixth man because he's not really a point guard. Well, I'm going to tell you, that has changed. He has developed. Okay? He has developed. He's developed maturity-wise. Him and McBride have a good, really good tandem. And he's developed his game. He plays high-level defense. He sees the floor. And, of course, he can score. I'm really concerned, y'all. Everybody brings up concern. My concern is we lose quickly in the summer. Okay, he is really good enough to be a starter, to be Brunson on another team, to get the keys and let him be the point guard for the next 10 years. That's how I believe in Emmanuel Quickly. So, as soon as possible, as soon as he's eligible, I hope Leon Rose and then roll out that contract, make it a nice deal for him, at least $72 million over 4 years. I'd like to see him get a little more than that. He's really, really valuable to what the Knicks do. And I'd like them to lock him up as a Knick for the next 4 years at least, if not 5. I don't think guys are signing 5-year deals these days because of the way the money is increasing in the NBA with all the advertising revenue and the revenue coming from places like China. Guys ain't signing 5-year deals no more because they're getting paid more money on a shorter term deal, and they're getting paid enough money in the 3 and 4 year guaranteed deals to set their families for generational wealth. So they're doing 4-year deals now. So if we can lock Quickly up for 4 years, that would be tremendous. He's 23 now. We can lock him up to he's 27. That would be good. Okay. So and I thought I saw a pattern. We talked about it when Obi was hurt. And of course, we had RJ out and Quickly had to start. It messed up MobbDeep. That messed up MobbDeep. Okay. And people kept saying we need bench help because a lot of people's first reaction is go trade for something. Anyway, I'm glad the Knicks waited it out. Let Obi and Quick and RJ and everybody come back healthy. and then let them get in their rhythm. And last game they scored 27 points off the bench. The game before that against the Hawks, they scored 28 points off the bench. So the bench I started seeing getting into that rhythm. And last night I think they scored 27 again. Let me see. Yes, they scored 27 again to Fordham. So it's coming. Okay, and there's going to be games where you're going to see the bench. You're going to see Toppin get more minutes. Eventually, you're going to see Deuce get more minutes. It's going to happen. So, but it's just something that has to ease in over time. Everybody's expecting snap movements, knee-jerk judgments. It doesn't work like that. You need time to develop. It's got to cook slow. What you want is to be hitting your stride in March. That's what you want. Okay, and we're hoping that happens. I believe it will. That's what you want. The Knicks will be hopefully playing their best basketball come March and April. That's what you're looking for. Okay, so we're still in that process. So they're looking really good right now. They're solidly in the 7th spot. They're fighting with Miami, but I want to say, as we all know, the schedule is not kind. Whereas Miami got. I mean, I'm looking at Miami's schedule, and I was like, you got to be kidding me, man. Like, when do they actually start playing against people? Because look, Miami last night, they beat Boston. That was a tough game. But look at their schedule. Friday, they play Orlando. Sunday, they play Charlotte. And then next Tuesday, they go to Cleveland. And then next week, Thursday, they come to New York. So they just beat Boston. That's a tough game. They won that game 98-95. Adebayo 30 and 15. But Orlando, Charlotte, it's already established those guys are going back to the top of the lottery, right? So Orlando's playing good ball, though. I mean, they just got back Jonathan Isaac. I mean, I'm hoping a miracle could happen. Maybe they could beat them. You know, they're playing in Orlando. But anyway, that's what I'm saying. Whereas the Knicks just played Cleveland, right? The Knicks just played Cleveland. And then they play Boston Thursday. They just played Cleveland. They play Boston Thursday in Boston. They play Brooklyn Saturday night in Brooklyn. Then they play LeBron and them on next Tuesday. LeBron like what, 37, 38? He playing like he 27 or 28. LeBron's ridiculous. I've never seen anything like him. Ever. A guy like, I remember when Jordan was like 38, he looked like he was 38. He was just hogging the ball. LeBron is playing like MVP level, man. I mean, it's ridiculous. I don't know how he does it. I know he takes care of his body, but daggone, that's talent right there. So he's playing at a high level. He's been scoring 40 several times in the last like 10 days. So that's not going to be easy. They're coming to the Garden, so you know he's going to be ready to go off. Oh, it's going to be big time. But Boston, a national televised game in Boston. The Knicks usually play Boston tough. I'm hoping that trend continues. We have not been able to crack the code with the Nets, though. And the Nets are rough. And so we're going to see what happens. This is going to be a tough road to hoe. But so far, the Knicks broke the 4-game losing streak in beating Cleveland. You know, we got a tough one tomorrow night. Period. End of story. We got a tough one tomorrow night. So the Knicks are now in the 7th seed, and they're battling with Miami. And we got a head-up game, you know, next week, Thursday. So it's going to be on. It's going to be on. It's going to be interesting. But we want to be playing our best ball as we get into March and April, and they're a work in progress right now. And so that's why I'm saying the continuity, the development. This is the first time all of these young dudes are playing on in a rotation on an NBA team. You know, it's the first time Deuce is in the rotation. It's the first time Grimes is regularly in the rotation. And so you got to let them develop. Obi is in the rotation. There's no doubt he's in the rotation now. Whereas the first couple of years, it was like, is he going to play or is he not going to play? But now he's in the rotation. The rotation is established. So now you got to let them play. I'm comfortable and confident that they're going to continue to get better as the season goes on. So next up is Boston. Good win for the Knicks at MSG. They are now 12 and 13 at MSG. I think like 14 and 10 on the road, and they're 12 and 13 at MSG. So, but we're playing Boston in Boston. So let's see what happens. Anyway, y'all enjoy your Wednesday. Be safe out there. So.